Welcome to the Brant and Sherry Oddcast, sponsored by America's Christian Credit Union. To order Brant's latest book, Life is Hard, God is Good, Let's Dance, or to find out more about the show, go to BrantHansen.com.
I get it. If you're somebody who's like, man, it's hard for me to believe that God really loves me. I totally understand that. I look at myself and then I think that. But let's look outside ourselves for a second. You see how beautiful the world is? You know how beautiful music is, or how beautiful created stuff is, even at the microscopic or macroscopic level. Like all of the world shot through with beauty. Like water, why is water so reflective? I was thinking about that the other day. That just adds beauty.
Yeah.
Everything in the sky, the way the light plays on shadows. Like, consider all of that. Now think, it'd be kind of weird if we have all this and he doesn't love us, right? I mean, how do you explain that? Why would things be this beautiful if he doesn't love you? People are like, oh, too early for Christmas, too early. I say bring it on.
Oh, okay. Yes.
And I used to be the guy that'd be like, hey, let's wait till after Thanksgiving. Like, not anymore.
So much is going on.
Too much is going on.
I think Halloween pushed you over the edge.
It really did.
Yeah.
I want Christmas. Everything pushed me over the edge. I want too much chaos. I say bring on Charlie Brown Christmas thing.
Yes.
Bring on Christmas lights. Put them up.
We've earned a triple Christmas.
Totally.
Yeah.
Bring it all. And it makes me think about the chaos that we have in our civilization or just around the world. And then going, well, that's just it, isn't it? Like God introducing himself in the form of a man into that chaos. It was chaotic then too.
Yeah.
It was a mess. Bring it on. So we know this. Our culture is all about feelings. We really are. We're very feelings driven. If you spend any time looking for it, then you can't miss it. It's all over the place. Our feelings like determine reality in some cases. I was thinking about how even Christian people maybe feel like they have to compete on the feelings thing. Like we need to provide really good feelings to overcome the other feelings that you might have, or good feelings that you have. Like, here's where the really good feelings are.
Right.
The problem is, you may have noticed this in your life, the feelings can come and go.
They do.
And you may have been drawn in by really warm feelings about God, and now you're not feeling it. I got to tell you, God has not left you. Your feelings are not the barometer of his love for you. His love has not changed one bit. Whenever you try something new, you can be awkward about it. Yeah. Whenever you try anything new, you're going to look silly. I saw a soccer coach talking to a bunch of little boys, and he's like, okay, what I'm going to show you, you're going to feel silly when you first start doing this. But he said, when you first started walking, you may not remember this, but I bet you fell down a lot. When you first started talking, I bet you didn't just talk smoothly right off the bat.
Yeah.
And they're like, haha, that's true. When you first started eating, I bet it was a big mess. You start putting spaghetti on your face and stuff and trying to get close to it. Like, boy, that's true. And I think about you as you're listening. Maybe you're somebody who's new to your faith, or you're just starting this walk and you're like, oh, I'm tripping and falling over. Yeah, but a heavenly Father's not looking at you going, oh, come on. What is I expect you to be sprinting right now. No. He picks you up, cleans you up, sets you back to walking again. People get kind of judgy about this. Let's just be honest. Christmas trees.
Really?
Yep.
I haven't heard.
Real tree people can kind of.
Oh, I see. Yes. Yeah.
I don't want to say it down their noses.
Right.
But 83% of us now go with artificial trees. So I need the real tree people to understand something. I'm actually nostalgic about artificial trees.
You are? Why?
Yeah, that's kind of sad maybe, but because that's what we grew up with.
That's true.
A lot of us.
Yes, we did. We were happy to have it.
Yeah, would we have liked to have the dad that could take us out and chop down the tree in the snow and all that? Yeah.
Wasn't going to happen.
Didn't happen.
No.
So now it's like assembling the tree. There's something beautiful.
And spreading out the little things and trying to get the native. Yes,
right.
That was beautiful.
For us,
Brant.
that rings a nostalgic bell. It's true. Right now, as you listen to this, you may be anxious about something, or just generally anxious. That's a normal thing for humans. I got to remind you of something, though. We do talk about this a lot, but I got to remind you because it's good to hear again and again. God is not anxious. He is not worried. He is not looking at us going, oh no. He's not looking at the news going, oh boy. Why? He knows things we don't. He tells us we can trust him and we don't need to worry. He knows things. This won't surprise you, but it's interesting nonetheless. They did this huge study. It's actually 71 different studies, and found that the more short form videos that teens and adults watch, so adults too,
Yes.
the more you struggle with attention span. Now we can guess that, but also self-control, stress, and anxiety.
Oh.
So that's TikTok, right? But it's also Reels. It's everything coming at you.
Yes.
And it manifests itself in like lack of self-control, even, and more stress, more anxiety. There's really no way around that. They'll tell you it'll save you time. That's how they sell technology to us. It'll save you time, save you time. Then you get old enough, you've seen enough stuff, you're like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I remember email. I lived in a time, I started my life in a time where we did not have email.
That's true.
They told us it would save us so much time. You don't have to be licking all these envelopes.
No.
We had to lick envelopes.
That's right.
The
Put a stamp. You had to pay for stamps. They
Save you
told
time.
us. And money.
Save you time. Now we estimate 30 days a year on email alone.
Yes. And what's your inbox at? Because we'd have to worry about this at the mailbox, right? Yeah.
Boy,
you
oh
want to talk
boy.
about it.
Yeah. So just saying when they tell you, oh, it's going to save you so much. So like, will you look out? Will you look out? Hey, just a reminder, it helps us if you're interested in helping us. If you don't want to help us, then don't worry about it. But
Did I ask you how I can help you? Maybe someone would say that.
yeah,
But,
we like doing this. We don't have a Patreon or anything, but like we have sponsors in like America's Christian Credit Union. They can do loans for everything. They
Yeah.
can, like cars, do if you're buying a new or used car, you get a great rate, or like savings accounts, all of that stuff. They have ATM things like 30,000 ATM deals. Like it's full banking services, and what they do with the money is pool it together that otherwise would go into profit or funding who knows what. Like they're actually funding great things, like missions and adoptions and things like that. So
things we believe in.
yeah, I really love that aspect. And again, you're supporting the show too, which would be wonderful if you could do that. If you go to BrantHansen.com, you'll find America's Christian Credit Union. If you scroll down, you'll see it says that, but it's just BrantHansen.com, and then scroll down and find America's Christian Credit Union. Got a nice little discussion here for you if you're interested with Dallas Jenkins. He's the creator of The Chosen and a whole bunch of other stuff.
I feel like if you two were in the same area.
We'd be pals.
Yeah.
I would want to be pals.
Yeah. It seems like he would too.
I think he's got a high quirk tolerance. I think that, I honestly do. Like he picks up on, quirky, I like this. And I do too, but he's not, So, but yeah, so he's got a Christmas movie out that's getting great reviews. So we talk about that. It's called The Best Christmas Pageant Ever. And honestly, I haven't seen it. I've just heard great things, even from very critical critics, about an openly Jesus-focused, feel-good, earnest movie. That's really intriguing. So here you go, Dallas Jenkins and me talking about that stuff.
Dallas, how are you?
It's so good to connect with you guys. Always love chatting with you. So thanks for having me, and you look good.
Well, you too. We all look good. That's cool. I'm excited about this. The reviews are awesome. Like that wasn't a given, right? That critics would be like almost unanimously excited about your movie.
Yeah, well, that certainly wasn't a given. When you're doing a movie, it's called The Best Christmas Pageant Ever, and it's so unabashedly about Jesus and the least of these and the meaning of Christmas and the strengths and weaknesses of some of us church folk. And it's very family friendly, obviously, and kind of a Christmas, hopefully a Christmas tradition. And the thing that was probably the most surprising was when it came out, and I try not to care too much about what others think anymore. I used to be passionate about that. Used to be my drug of choice was affirmation for many years. God took all that away from me, but it's still nice to check in every now and then at Rotten Tomatoes or the box office. And so when we saw opening weekend, we were doing really well at the box office and exceeding expectations. I'm like, oh, that's really cool. A lot of people are hearing this great story that book that impacted me so greatly that it's based on. And then 91% or 92% or something on Rotten Tomatoes, including a positive review from the New York Times. And I'm going, whoa, okay, fun. This is nice.
What do
And
you make of that? You think people are just tired of like deconstructing everything? They want something earnest for once?
I think there's a little bit of that. Yeah, I think there's some earnestness, but I also think, and I really mean this when I say it, I have to give so much credit to the book that this movie is based on.
Yeah.
The book was a big seller. You know, it came out in the 70s and was a big seller for years in public schools, and that's where I had read it as a kid, and then didn't remember much about it. And I brought it home to read to my kids about 20 years ago, one of my first thoughts was, and this is related to your question, I started reading it. And I'm like, wait a minute. I read this in public school. This is an extremely popular story, extremely popular book. It was a TV movie back in the early 80s. This is about Jesus, like
Mm.
explicitly so. Like when I got to the last chapter of the book, after having laughed and been moved and all, I mean, it's a very charming story, very funny, very cool, very unique. And I get to the last chapter and I can't even see the pages because I'm crying so hard. And
Huh.
my kids are like, what's going on? And my wife's like, all right, give me the book. Let me read it. She starts crying. She can't even see the pages. We're handing the book back and forth to each other while the other one's recovering from their tears. And I remember when I closed the book and I said, this is 20 years ago, I said, I have to make this movie. I just have to make this movie because partly because it was so near and dear to me. It was just personally, I was so moved by the story of these outsiders, these rejects, these kids that everyone hated.
Uh-huh.
I mean, the first line of the book is the Herdmans were the worst kids in the history of the world. And they were in poverty, they were mean, they were bullies. They lived at home with no dad around, and off on the wrong side of the tracks. And then, as it turns out, after they hijack this Christmas pageant, and that no one wants them around for, it's because of their poverty, because of their outsider status, that they actually are closer to the heart of God and to the story of Jesus. And I'm just like, that's a story that has to be told, but it was told in such a wonderful way, such a charming way that
Uh-huh.
that you're reading it in public school. So I think I know that's a long answer to your question, but I really do think that it doesn't feel like a church production, book or movie that is only for those who, love the story of Jesus and the birth of Christ. It really is. I heard from so many people across, from critics to friends of mine or people that I barely know who
Uh-huh.
aren't churchgoers, believers who are like, this is my new Christmas tradition.
That's
So,
interesting.
yeah.
I was thinking about that, the new Christmas tradition thing. That's the thing about a great Christmas movie, if you manage to make one, is it lives on in perpetuity. I think this is going to do that.
I have watched It's a Wonderful Life every single year for over 45 years, without exception. And there's something about that Christmas, that holiday season, that, the month of December, where you actually want the familiar. It's not like you're like, oh,
Right,
same old,
right.
same old. Oh, here we go again. I mean, there's always Grinches out there, but for most of us, it's like, no, no, I want this familiarity. I want this routine, this tradition. It's comforting. It brings me back to something, and that's what the movie really tried to do. And what I heard from so many people, which is exactly what we were going for, is they said, "Oh, this feels timeless." We intentionally filmed it in a way that you don't know exactly what decade it's in. It just feels
Smart.
like my production designer came up with this great term for it. He says, "I want the movie to feel like then." Right? Whatever
Huh.
that may mean for you, it feels like familiar. It feels like your upbringing. For kids, it can feel like, for children who watch it now, it'll feel more present, but it feels like that time in your life when maybe you were a little bit more innocent. Maybe you were a little bit more simple in your expectations. And it just brings you back to that time when maybe you weren't kind of bogged down by the cynicism of the world or by
Uh-huh.
the exhaustion of life. And it feels very familiar. And someone once described the movie last year as it feels like a warm blanket. And I'm like, that's exactly what I want. And that's what we want
Damn.
every Christmas. It's a warm blanket.
I had to start a secret society. This is terrible, but it was of people who don't really like It's a Wonderful Life.
You
And the
started,
only reason
Brant. I thought we were friends. I
I
thought,
thought we, I thought we,
yeah.
I'm taking a real risk of being vulnerable here because
Yeah.
um, because they're all yelling at each other. And I know it's all from like they used to be on stage actors or whatever, but they're standing right and it's like, hey, this, well, hi, well, we're gonna do that. Like you're standing right there.
Okay,
And
I can
that's
understand,
all.
especially you, because my as we've talked about before, you being on the spectrum, my daughter, of course, is in the spectrum. So yeah, maybe it's just a little bit too much sensory input. I can understand that.
Yeah, thank
Yeah,
you. Thanks for understanding, letting me
yeah,
off the hook there. But I honestly think like this, the fact that this is earnest and
yeah.
well done is going to bring it into perpetuity. So that's a big sigh of relief for you, right? Like, because you put something out into the world and you don't know how it's going to do. But is that how you feel? Do you feel relief, or what are you feeling right now about it?
Well, I genuinely feel um, really encouraged by the response, not because of anything for me personally, but just okay, I knew I was right about this story. I knew that
Uh
this
huh.
story has universal appeal and can say a lot of things. I mean, there's so many people who who watched it and who identify with the outsiders, with the people that no one wants around, and were
Uh
able
huh.
to see the story of Jesus through their eyes and see what it's like to come to church for the first time and experience that. Um, and so there's a sense of relief for sure, because again, I chased the rights to this movie for 20 years. I mean, when I closed
Huh.
that book and said, I have to make this movie, well, went and found out who had the rights. They were like, oh, we've got it with a studio and a bigger director. I mean, I was at the time, very early in my career. And I just said, guys, you need to understand, I was born to make this movie. And they're like, well, that's really nice, but no one knows who you are and no one cares. And so I'll just tell you this real quick. I put a
Uh
reminder, because this speaks to your relief question. I put a
huh.
reminder in my calendar. So every week for 15 years, it would pop up on my phone or computer, and it just said this: pray for pageant. And that's all it said. And it was just a reminder to me. Now, I'd like to say that I prayed, for God's will to be done. And even if someone else makes it, I hope it impacts people. I was praying for, like, please let me make it. Please like,
Uh
don't let
huh.
anyone
Uh
else
huh.
make this movie. And I kept checking in and they kept saying no. And then the rights became available because the studio that they had been working with didn't renew. And I'm like, guys, you got to give it to me. And then they finally told me again, no, we're going to go with someone else. And I went and told my wife it's over. And we were emotional and confused because I'm like, man, I felt like God wanted me to do this so much. And I went
Uh
back and I
huh.
sat down at the computer, and literally it pops up on my screen, that once a week reminder, pray for pageant.
Uh
And I went to delete it because I said, I can't do this anymore. I can't keep trying. I can't
huh.
keep hoping. I can't get my hopes up. And I just felt this voice going, don't, not yet, not yet. Don't do that. And I'm like, oh, God, I can't do this anymore. God, I can't do this anymore. And at that moment, my wife walks in. She goes, after you told me, I was praying and I just felt like God was saying to me, don't, it's not over yet. And I'm like, dang it, I wish you wouldn't have said that, because now my hopes are going to get up again. And sure enough, because of The Chosen, the mother of the guy who owned the
Mhm.
rights to the book had seen the show and said to him, "You got to see this show called The Chosen." He goes, "Oh, that's funny. The creator is always trying to get me to give him the rights to the best Christmas pageant ever." And she's like, "Are you crazy? Of course he's the only one who can do this movie. What's wrong with you?" And he's like, "Well, I have to make my mom happy." So yeah. Every now and then, like just yesterday actually, someone the studio sent me DVDs because it's now out on DVD and Blu-ray. And I pulled it out and I'm like, look, I'm holding in my hands this movie that for 20 years we were wanting to make. And look at the cover. Look, I mean, it actually got made. We did it. Like God allowed us to do this, and it's out there. And
Yeah.
it was a success, and people have lives have been impacted by it, and it finally happened. It's like it's hard sometimes to kind of take a step back and just appreciate that. So I don't know if
Well,
relief is the word, but it's definitely gratitude.
there's a sweetness to that kind of thing too, where it's like for all the talk, you can be a professional Christian or be in professional Christian spaces or whatever, but when you have a little, you feel like a nod from the Lord going, we're partnering together, you and me, like
That's really
you, Dallas, and or I feel that way sometimes too, where it's like, you didn't have to do that.
yes, yes, yeah. That's these little graces, these little
Yeah.
gifts that you go, yeah, I would have. There's this brief side note in The Chosen season 5. There's a scene where the women are all uh, doing what's called the Dayenu. It's a Jewish tradition where you think through your history, or you think through the history of the Jewish people, and they would say, if all you had done was taken us through the wilderness, it would have been enough. If you had not parted the Red Sea, it would have been enough. If you had not done this, it would. And I feel that way sometimes. It's such a beautiful reminder for all of us to do that sometimes. Like if you had just let me read that book to my kids and had our own tradition of reading the
Right.
book, it would have
Right.
been enough.
Right.
But then you
Right.
allowed me to make this movie, and
And that is a sweet looking back on life thing, because
yeah,
that's a through line. That's a through line to your childhood.
absolutely. Yeah.
Goodness, it reminded me of thinking about Miriam after they crossed the Sea of Reeds, the Exodus, and she starts her own song after they do like 27 verses of a
Yeah.
song together. And she goes to the side and sings. I'm like, why did she have to go to the side? Like, that's Moses' sister.
Yeah.
Like, well, she saw him as a baby in the
Yeah.
reeds, and he's going to die, and Pharaoh's going to get him. And now here she just saw him take care of Pharaoh. Like,
That
what?
is that is a really beautiful insight. Yeah.
Yeah, but you think back, like you're just unwinding in your head. Like, look how God's actually been faithful to me despite my issues and stuff, like little things through
Yeah.
life.
Yeah. Yeah. And
I didn't mean to kill the conversation with
no.
that
That's
story,
you.
but it
You
made me
brought
think
the
about that.
conversation. You brought the conversation to life. I'm sure no people were tired of hearing about my own personal dreams, but yeah, no. But it really is it's a sweet thing. That's a really good way to put it. Oh, you didn't have to do that.
Right.
And the thing is, then you sometimes look back on it and you go, well, why did it have to take 15 years? And then you look back on those 15 years and you go, oh my gosh, I'm so glad it took 15 years. I was not ready to do this movie 10 years ago. I'm not the person I am today. The world, I think, needed a movie like this more now than ever before. So those
Uh-huh.
kinds of things too, when you step back for a second, which is really hard to do as a human being, but to take a step back and try to see that larger picture, and you go, oh wow, yeah, well, this is why I'm not in charge. That makes so much more
You
sense.
know, I love to, and I don't want to read too much into your life, but I feel like since you've had success on a big scale, you're able to make things without needing us.
Yes. Yeah. Gosh,
And I
that's
think,
why you're who you are. You're good. You're so good at those. Yeah, no,
thanks.
yeah, there's not a eagerness to please. There's not a desperation. There's,
Yeah,
there's not I need this to succeed or else I can't move on.
right.
I've gotten to that place where it really where it becomes a superpower where you're like, oh gosh, I'm on house money now, not to use a
Yeah.
example.
And you can just be a blessing. You just add value
Yeah.
to people's lives and go
Yeah.
from like you're not needy anymore. It's a wonderful place in life. How
Yeah. And
old
I
are your
think,
kids now?
yeah, kids now are, my oldest is getting actually married in New Year's Eve. He's 24. So it's 24, 22, 20, and 18
Gotcha. Okay. You guys gonna be empty nesters the next few years, think?
next year. And just, yeah,
Next year.
when my son, my senior in high school graduates in the spring next year, we will be empty nesters. And I love him
That's
very much,
awesome.
but we are looking forward to it. He's awesome.
Good.
It's time. It's
Good.
time.
Yeah. Right. I identify with that. You're awesome and get on out of here. I love you.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Golly.
Yeah.
Thanks, man. I know we're up against it time wise. So thanks so much. It's great to see you again and talk to you.
Always
So
appreciate you, Brent and Brant, and we'll talk again soon. Appreciate your kind
okay.
words about the project too.
Sure thing. Excited.
Yeah, man.
Bye bye.
Goodbye.
Yeah, go see it and support it. It's the best Christmas pageant ever. Appreciate Dallas taking time with us, and I appreciate you listening to this.
The Brant and Sherry Oddcast, sponsored by America's Christian Credit Union. To find out more about the show, go to BrantHansen.com.